Well, I think we're live. I'm hoping we're live, and welcome everyone to day 2 of the Harmony Fest Beyond Being Human presentation. And today we're introducing Simon Deacon, who's now a friend of a couple of years, and he's been doing things for Beyond Being Human in terms of interviews and discussion panels and all sorts of things. But he's a healer. And we are going to hear from him today and also have some sample healings broadcast virtually. This is the new thing. It's all happening online. Simon, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, so you can stay on, Simon, and tell us a little bit of background about what you've been doing in terms of the vortex healing coming into your life and how it's affected you and things like that.
Okay. Before I became a vortex healer, I was trying to get into art gallery sales. I won't go into too much detail with that, but I had already taken Reiki, and I heard about vortex healing through one person at a party and another colleague who was thinking about it. And then one time during one of my jobs, I saw the vortex healing flyer across the street, and I picked it up and I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll take a class." Now realizing it was going to completely change and transform my life. But what I discovered first and foremost was my healing path. It just brought me in complete alignment with that healing path. The other job and career that I wished for just totally fell to the side and said, "Nope, Simon, you are now in your higher path." And therefore, I started taking more certifications in vortex healing. And those certifications uh, is is like are called the vortex healing transmissions, kind of similar to Reiki attunements from a Reiki master, but it's far more powerful. Uh, you can attune or transmit the transmission to a whole group of people from 50 to 200. But what it did is that it created a huge integration of my ability to channel these powerful divine healing energies and a deeper essence known as magical divine consciousness. And what it does, when it is channeled through me into the client, into your system, becomes literally transformational in what it channels in terms of its uh, divine intelligence. It unblocks the deepest of blocks: mental, emotional, spiritual, even karmic. It creates a powerful healing acceleration. It not just releases negativity or negative energy within the body or system, but it goes deeper because this is a channeling of magical divine consciousness. So it also goes in, releases the negative blocks, but also awakens a part of it from the illusion of separation. So there's also a very powerful awakening aspect to it, bringing very deep clarity and opening and awareness. But what it also does is this is what I love. It just creates such powerful healing acceleration of any issue, and that is what I started to experience when I started doing vortex healing on myself. You can do that. You can do it with clients. You can do it with yourself. And when I started doing those vortex healings on myself, it created powerful healing acceleration. And when I first started taking vortex healing, I was dealing with a lot of very difficult emotional issues. I was dealing with terrible anxiety. I had terrible anxiety, panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I dealt with a lot of insecurity, a lot of bad self-esteem issues, and vortex healing saved me from that because it just channeled into the very core of these issues and just brought up a huge release, and to the point where I could feel it. I could feel the divine intelligence just freeing me of it, where I was one time, as I was so used to just reacting from this place of maybe anger or anxiety or fear, it releases at its core, and I feel the freedom from that at such an incredible core level. That's what it does. Okay, we all have this desire to be free of what attaches us to our pain and our trauma and our drama, or what keeps us stuck. And vortex healing does that. It doesn't just release, because it's a divine intelligence, it just releases and releases and brings the freedom within you to be, not only to be free of it, but to no longer identify identify from it. And another another wonderful aspect of vortex healing is, okay, it's very magical, because it's not just dealing with energy, it's also dealing with consciousness. Consciousness is the very fabric of what creates our reality. So it's very magical. It the divine intelligence is the divine intelligence is called Merlin. And when I say Merlin, I don't necessarily mean the King Arthur Merlin. Uh, in terms of Merlin, uh, Merlin is an official title, like guru or master. It is a lineage of divine healing energy, or a lineage of powerful divine healing magic that has come up through the ages, that has evolved through the ages, and came up again, I believe, in the early '90s by our now current founder, Mr. Rick Weinman of the Vortex Healing Institute. But I digress. These this consciousness. One thing that is tied to our consciousness is our karma, and we hold that karma, and that karma kind of dictates a lot of sometimes the negative patterns and the negative situations in our life. They keep coming back, or they keep repeating themselves. Well, within our systems, or within the spine, is the what we call the karmic body, and in that karmic body is what we call karmanauts. And what is so powerful is that the release of one karmanaut, and I've seen what karma looks like psychically. They look like a knot, because it is a complex, it's a complex issue, intertwined, and in the middle of the core root of that karmanaut is an issue of separation. Somewhere down the line, maybe in this lifetime or the next, we made a choice on a soul level that created bad disharmony. And in that bad disharmony, it created an issue of separation. And that's what vortex healing does. It goes into the karmic body and it releases those karma knots. And the side effect of that, as it releases and awakens the karma knot at its core, releasing also its illusion of separation, is that again, it creates a powerful healing acceleration. I call it like a fast forward. And I prepare people for this. People would love to say, "Oh, I'm getting so tired of what's going on in my life. If I could just find a way to fast forward this," and you can, but you have to be very responsible with that choice, because to resolve it means you are resolving at a core level, and that's exactly what when I channel the divine healing essences and it releases karma in this way, it whatever situation, negative situation that you are stuck in, or a negative pattern that is repeating itself, it will turn it off, and from there, it will immediately accelerate itself to its immediate resolve, which I always love. Uh, it, I've had so many incredible stories. People who are stuck in their career. I, I do this karmic healing, and boom, abundance is right there. The opportunities are right there. If they're stuck in their trauma, release of that karma, it doesn't heal on all levels, but what it does, it definitely creates a very powerful resolve in your outer reality as well. So issues that you haven't confronted starts to confront itself. And this is also part of how this divine consciousness works with the whole essence of your reality, because that's what makes it very magical, is that not only is it healing and releasing and resolving and awakening and transforming on an intimate level of all these levels, but it is also conspiring with your outer reality. And that's what makes it very magical, because I've had this experience with myself. I do healings on the issue of trauma, and then boom, I get into situations that confront it. I get that confront it, that trigger it, that makes me confront it more, and then the release happens. And of course, the release is very painful, but that's just temporary. It's the trauma finally releasing itself and resolving itself. Or another great story that I love to tell, my friend John, who was very stuck in his romantic life and he wanted to move forward. He We did a karmic healing on that, and what it first did was it helped him to confront everything he didn't want in a relationship, but he had to confront everything that was getting in the way, everything that was mirroring back his negative beliefs, everything that was mirroring back his intimacy issues. He had to confront it all with the people around him, or the people that he was dating. He had to create new boundaries. All of that. That's what the healing does. It just sets the stage in your outer reality. And after he left this one relationship where he wasn't getting his needs met, that's when he met the love of his life, and they are now engaged. And it's just things like that. And oh, but also, I wish to point out, that vortex healing is also an awakening lineage. So this is what makes vortex healing. It draws people, not just the healers who want to add to their healing techniques, like Reiki masters and other spiritual teachers and other spiritual healers, but the awakening aspect is for those who wish to experience what the transmissions of awakening does. Because you reach a certain level in vortex healing, you take a lot of certifications, and then your system is open enough, your divine energy system is open enough, where the veil, well, the transmissions can be, the class transmissions of awakening can therefore release the veils of illusion, and therefore you begin to experience a true spiritual awakening. And it's very powerful, and it's very profound. So again, this is what vortex healing supports, uh, this divine awakening, not just to heal and awaken our issues, but also to heal and awaken ourselves. And that just creates the ripple effect, because there are now so many vortex healers across the globe, and we get together sometimes in person, sometimes on Zoom, and we are always channeling world issue events. We're doing what is called Earthship classes, and we are channeling these powerful divine healing energies to really help the planet. It's a wonderful feeling that when I can participate on that on a larger scale, and just not just heal our consciousness on a personal level, but we are channeling powerful divine healing energy to create a healing shift in planetary issues. And that's what also makes us, it also feels like such a beautiful blessing. So, Michael, if you have any questions for me, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. And the, let me turn that down. Are there any limitations? Are there things that vortex healing really shouldn't be addressing?
Okay, it is so important. The first thing that comes to mind is it is so important to abide by readiness, because when you are given a modality as powerful and transformational as vortex healing, you can't be overindulgent with it in terms of whether a person is ready or not to accept it. Uh, Many times, the divine intelligence, that is Merlin, has said no. There are times some people are not ready for it, and you can't make them ready. Uh, One thing that I have learned is definitely put my ego and expectations aside. I had this one experience where I was doing a trade with a man who was in a very popular holistic online magazine. And I was like, okay, I give him healings and he'll and he will do an article for me. Now, he did the first article. He did the first article, but he later told me that he wasn't feeling it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But a year later, I meet him, I see him. He's transformed. When I first saw him, his energy was weak and he seemed kind of depressed and melancholy. When I saw him a year later, he looked transformed. But of course, I'd love to give myself credit for it, and part of me wanted to, but that was sort of like the lesson there. You are assisting on a higher level. You are not assisting your ego here, Simon. So that is what I had to learn. Put aside your expectations, because you are here to serve. You're not here to get a pat on the back. That's that's the limitation. Even as something as powerful as vortex healing, you abide by divine timing. You abide by divine readiness, and you don't be so arrogant as to assume who is ready or who isn't. Or you, in the end, you say, "Oh, I'm going to fix this," and you will learn, sometimes the hard way. If you're not listening to your heart's intuition, you'll go, "No, no, 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 no. Don't boast, Simon. You will now align yourself back to your intuition and align yourself to what this person needs." That's what has been my very humbling lesson. Just put aside your expectations in terms of this very powerful healing modality that teaches you very powerful and responsibility.
And actually, maybe pop me back on screen for a minute, please. And introducing Tanys, a lovely tech support person who's going to be on tomorrow, by the way. So tune into that. And yesterday, Simon, you did a wonderful, generous offering of a healing to the lady who's staying at our house at the moment, Anna Grace. Would you like to have a quick chat to her, just really, really quick, like, a couple of minutes or whatever? She can give a little report about how she's feeling now, and it can also tune people into what happened during that, and you can speak to that.
Sure.
Would that be all right?
I'd love to.
All right. Have a seat.
So I just talked to him.
Hello, it's so good to see you.
Where is he now?
He's in the little window.
He's there in that.
There we go. Yeah.
Hello, Simon. I'm so grateful to you for your time yesterday. I had the most amazing sleep. It was so deep I almost couldn't wake myself up, and I thought I'd be in bed most of the day, but I had to get up to listen to this, you see. My body feels stronger. My knees aren't really painful at all. But from the knees down, I'm feeling a bit wobbly, but, I'll probably get there. I think the fear has been sitting in there since childhood, probably. And I just feel a bit off balance, but I don't have a word. It was just remarkable. There's not enough words to say how thankful and grateful I am for your gift. It was just wonderful. Thank you. And it's ongoing. I know it's not finished yet. And
Yes.
at one stage a few years ago, I heard, when I thought I would go into madness because I was so distressed, I heard myself say, one day I'm going to wake up and remember who I really am. And I've been waiting for that. But I had to heal this body mind first, I think, before the gift is given to me, one day at a time.
Oh,
one day.
I have faith that the blessing of that insight is definitely manifesting itself, definitely through Michael. And of course, Michael brought me in, but I don't take credit for that. That's simply the divine just seeing the light within us and saying, okay, we're ready to spread that light to you. So that's so wonderful. It's all so beautiful, divine timing. And so thank you so much.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, darling. Bless you. Bless your work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold the chair.
Yep, got it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. No worries. And let me get seated again. So Anna Grace is 73. She's going to be 83. Yes, 83 in.
Well, my body is, not the rest of me.
Her body is. Anyway, thank you so much for doing that. And this is the life of a healer. You get called, and it's like, okay, well, I'll be of service. And you've got a show coming up on our Patreon campaign or presentations, which are going to be really, really active starting soon. And people can tune into that on patreon.com/beyondbeinghuman. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're going to be talking about and doing on the show once a month?
Okay. The next Patreon event, I of course will be introducing Vortex Healing again, but the group healing will be a little more in depth. And I was guided to bring healing to the issue of healing our divine connection. So I will introduce Vortex Healing, give it a good sense of what it means in terms of how deep it heals. And then I will bring healing to this particular issue. And it will be a wonderful issue, I think, and a very necessary issue, especially hopefully that people who will attend will be very powerful healers and teachers and other people with very important callings, because we need that right now. We don't need to flounder in our doubt. We need to embody ourselves in our divine selves and in our divine calling. And I'm just going to release as many levels of negative conditioning, even karmically, just to unblock that connection, so people can go deeper and just resonate and manifest more. And after that, I think I would very much like to also do some intuitive counseling as well, because I know that is also part of my practice. I have gotten very good with soul readings, both in person and online. It's just an incredible, I am quite blessed with my ability of intuitive insights and intuitive counseling, where all I have to do is just look at a person straight in the eyes, and the answer to their problems, or the guidance for them to solve their problems, just sort of like reveals themselves. What also reveals themselves is the guides around them, the divine entities that surround them, also guiding them, also guiding the session. It's a beautiful way for people to share, and there's also a synchronicity there's always a beautiful synchronicity of when people who are there. All group healings, that's when I realized, all group healings, everyone who's there is meant to be there, whether it's just 2 people or 20 people or 40 people. They're all meant to be there, and they create a beautiful synchronicity. One person says something, and that creates a divine insight. I'm like, oh, let me channel this way. Let me do this type of magical healing. It's a beautiful alchemy that I can share on Patreon.
Yeah, and what's really amazing, just to tune the whole audience into what's going on. So we've got a number of different presenters who will be doing monthly things. We've actually got so many banked up now. It's going to end up being a show every week, 2 shows every week. Sorry. And if you want to tune in on that, probably the easiest way to get an overview is to go to our webpage, beyondbeinghuman.org/Patreon-intro, or also beyondbeinghuman.org/news, which I'm just beginning to update with all of this new activity. And you can join there and find out what's going on. But the big thing is we're really investigating a range of different topics. And when you go to the website, you'll see all about that. And I think we're going to be ending up now for the Harmony Festival, but you and I, Simon, can keep going. And I would love it if you wanted to do a group healing virtually. We can do that.
Yes.
And I'll pass it back over to you.
Okay. Do you see how many people are in the watching? I can't see that. Okay. Okay, for those of you who are watching, you will be included in this group healing, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about anyone getting your attention, because the divine intelligence that I will be working with will know exactly where to go. What I'll be doing is that I will be evoking what is called Merlin's healing grid. And when I bring the grid up, that is a grid of beautiful divine healing essence that I will encapsulate you in. You will be within this grid, and this grid will bring powerful, powerful healing in the background of your life. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring healing to the issue of whatever is blocking your peace. I shall ask the grid to unblock what is blocking your peace on all levels. So I will just now connect to the grid. And those of you who are psychic or intuitive, I hope you can sense into it. Maybe you'd like to share what it feels like. All right, 1 second. All right, grid is now up. Just as grid, please put Mr. Michael May and everyone watching this event into the grid. There's nothing you need to do. Just take a nice deep breath and relax into the lovely divine essence of the grid. Okay, we're all in the grid now. All right. Merlin's healing grid. Please bring healing and release to whatever is blocking their peace on all levels. And just let the grid, just take some deep breaths and allow the grid just to gently yet powerfully unblock this issue. And just to not allow too many long pauses. I'm going to see if Merlin, the beautiful divine intelligence of Merlin, has anything to say as well, as we are healing in this grid. Okay, Merlin says hello. Right. Merlin is simply welcoming you all, and he is showing me his magic, and it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful and cosmic and full of power and color and beauty. And it's more than just healing your issues. It is true, powerful creation. This is the powerful magic that he is showing you. Creation that magically goes into the essence of your life at the core of your being, into your consciousness, and create something transformational, something beautiful. It creates the divine alchemy. It takes the darkness and it takes the shadow and it transforms it into light, thus rising, healing and rising and evolving your vibration continuously higher and higher into a higher divine vibration. This is Merlin, and has his beautiful divine essence, transforms your life. It is necessary to remind that as you rise in frequency, the old frequencies must fall away. I've experienced this just recently. Sometimes it's very difficult, but that is transformation. What does not serve you falls away. Who does not serve you also falls away. I'm sure this is something that we are going through throughout the entire planet. All right, I'm now going to sense into what the grid is healing. Ah, that's a lovely insight, because it's bringing peace to our hearts. That is so very important. We get stuck in our minds. Maybe times life hurts us too much. We don't trust what our heart may reveal or may express. But now it is showing how important it is to bring peace to your heart. And Merlin is saying, not only will you heal these issues of people who hurt you, but that's just one small part of it. It will heal you so you may express in a deeper way your deepest, most wonderful, true self. That is a reminder. When you bring peace to your heart this way, you're reminded that you are aligning yourself back to the deepest place of true self when you are at peace in your heart. Okay, I knew that I was going to do a little more channeling. So those who are participating, I'm now going to channel what is called magical divine structures. These are magical divine frequencies that can be woven into your system, into an organ, into an issue for you. So for this session, I'm going to channel magical divine structures to heal and cleanse and optimize your heart chakra. Okay, going back to the grid. Grid, please keep healing and blocking. Peace. Just give it a little bit. Don't want to stay too long, but I want to make sure that everyone's really feeling it. See what else that I can feel here. No one has to say anything. Okay, Merlin is showing that lovely cloud that kind of gets in the way of our lights. I'm sure everyone's heard that. A lot of you have heard that metaphor. Clouds may come and go, dark clouds, rain, hurricanes. That's just the change of the weather because the sun is always shining. So the grid is kind of like doing that. It's kind of clearing the clouds, clearing those clouds to remember that we are not these clouds, we are the light. And that is a good reminder, maybe a good mantra too, just an affirmation. I am not the clouds, I am the sun, I am not these negative moods, I am the light. Oh, okay. I hear Merlin say wrap it up, so we're gonna wrap it up now. Grid has anything? Good. Grid, please ground and integrate. Ooh, I see Merlin. He doesn't always appear as the man with the beard, but sometimes he does, just to make it a point. All right. All right. Cutting it off. And now the grid is down. I hope everyone felt that out there. I hope you felt it, Michael.
I think Tanys should come on screen too and tell us. She's also a healer. But yeah, it was lovely. And Anna here is weeping and doing deep breathing, and it had an effect. Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing?
She's seated over there. That's like yeah. But maybe get the three of us on screen, please, Tanys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. How did you feel during that?
Oh, I definitely felt it. It was very pulsating energy. Felt it in the heart chakra, felt the energy when you did the clearing. It moved up. For me, it usually does. I clear usually tears or coughing or something like that, and I coughed at the end. So I definitely did some clearing on that one. Still feeling it in the heart area. So, but it was definitely like a pulsing kind of energy when you had the grid going, which was cool.
Oh yes, and I felt that pulsing in the transmissions. I know that pulse.
Yeah, it was very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, and what's really interesting too, we're getting a few messages coming through. Someone saying, Betsy saying, lovely experience, mahalo, and beautiful, Simon, thank you, and others. And yeah, I think once the show gets rolling, we can probably do regular ones of this in the Beyond Being Human Facebook group too. Just like short little bursts would be good. And so Tanys, maybe spend a few minutes talking about what you're going to be doing. Bring yourself full screen if you like. And
I can just go over here. Okay.
I'm actually I'm a little confused on the time. I think for us in Australia, it's Sunday. When is it for you?
It's
Saturday.
Are you talking about my show?
Yeah, I think it's
We're doing
5 p.m. EST for you.
Okay. We were doing something. Yeah, I think that is correct.
Yeah, good.
We have two things booked, so I think I'm getting them confused in my mind. Yes, that's correct. So it's Saturday for us.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
and we'll be doing some more of that energy healing. I do a few different modalities, so I'm going to bring in the 3 modalities in succession so that you can feel the difference in the energy between Reiki, between that and Aqualead and Nakti. So that'll be what we'll be focusing on and talking about some of that sort of energy healing bit. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing on Saturday.
And maybe
Lots.
just a little brief intro into your background so people know what's going on.
Sure. So I'm an intuitive energy healer, Celtic shamanic high priestess. I'm a crystal master. I'm a channel and a galactic ambassador. So I wear many hats and do fun stuff. That's what I always say. I just do stuff. So yeah, I help my clients kind of work through their stuff and find their way and, you know, step into the light, step into love, making decisions out of love instead of fear. That's what we do.
Praise be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. And it's really interesting how healers are starting. I'm getting introduced to more and more healers as time goes on and just keeps growing. So we probably need to do some sort of healers summit or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
maybe a discussion panel between healers too on the different methodologies, modalities, I should say.
Modalities, yeah. You know, everybody has their own thing. So there can never be too many healers, right? Because even healers need healers. So community is key for all of this. So the more we can, you know, get together and share that, it's a great thing, and show people what they can accomplish.
Yeah, and I must apologise. I got some workmen next door building a house. Would you believe? And
Awesome.
so that might interfere a little bit. But I woke up this morning feeling uneasy, to say the least, about the whole war in Israel and whatever. But you know, just stepping back from that in terms of who we can become and how we can make the world better wherever we are, anytime. And Michael Rhodes, that Simon did a wonderful interview with, his mantra is choose love. And the more and more you go into that, of like just choose love all the time, like, and I find myself going deeper and deeper into that in ordinary interactions, like the person who just, you know, pushed past you in the supermarket or something like that, and like just send them a blast of love, you know, whatever, things like that.
Well, and showing the compassion, right?
Yeah,
Showing them compassion, because we don't know what has created that for them that day,
yeah,
right? Maybe they've had a really rough day and they're just not paying attention. So when we can come at it with love, it certainly.
Yes.
But I think, yeah, compassion and kindness and empathy and just choosing love in all sorts of ways is just a very simple way every person can make a difference. And Simon, go on.
No, I had a very beautiful experience because I am going into another level of compassion. Compassion, you know what? Compassion isn't always a popular choice. Why be compassionate when anger and cynicism feels just so much more satisfying? But like I said, I had an experience which was quite a lesson, because I live in New York City, and I walked past this man who was sitting on a door stoop, and he was smoking an illegal substance. And I walk past him and I see it. And then as I'm doing that, another woman is walking past me, looking at this man again, and I hear her go, like that, utter judgment. And from that I felt the click, and I just went around the corner, and I said a prayer for this man. I said a prayer for his angels to protect him, because that's the discipline of compassion. It's getting you to flex a heart muscle inside of you that's not always flexed for people who are ready for it. But you know, it's continuously there to check your biases and to check your impulse and your reactions. And that's one of the things that it kind of teaches. Just like, oh, there's darkness here. Do you react with repulsive, or do you take the time to discipline and bring more light to it?
Absolutely, because we all have that love, that divine spark inside. And so that divine spark is really what we can see in anybody if we choose to.
Definitely.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to find a video that I want to show you. So talk amongst yourself, and you can leave me
Talk
off.
amongst ourselves.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves and leave me off screen if you like. I'm just going to.
What would you like to talk about, Simon?
Okay, I'd definitely like to talk about my upcoming group healing, which is
Mhm,
it's coming up on 7 p.m. on October 24th. It's a Zoom group healing, and you can participate anywhere, and it's called Vortex Group Healing is called Compassion Burnout, and this was not my idea. This was given to me from the divine intelligence of Merlin. It's Compassion Burnout, a group healing for healers. I'm sure we have so many healers, empaths, those in services where they're constantly helping people, doctors, social workers. I would love for so many of these types of people to come to this group healing, to bring healing to this issue of compassion burnout, where you are giving to the point where you're hurting yourself, physically, emotionally, you're feeling drained, you're also feeling disillusioned, especially now what's going on in the world right now, how disillusioning it can be when you're over-giving to a system that's broken. But we're going to be doing deep healing on that burnout, bring some deep, wonderful, nurturing healing to the trauma of that. And what I'm also going to do is bring a dose of deep healing to the issue of receiving, because I'm sure so many other healers can definitely align with that. Sometimes it is easier to give than it is to receive. Maybe we experience that imbalance. So I'm going to we all deserve that. We all deserve. So I'm just going to release all that is to say, Merlin is going to heal and release a deep level to unblock a level in your consciousness so you can receive deeper in your life. That I'm really looking forward to that.
That's awesome.
Can I? I don't think I posted it. Can I post it on the message? And
if you can do the message, or if you want to put it in the private chat there, I can transfer it over.
All right, there it is.
Beautiful. So I'll post that.
Mm-hmm. For those of you still watching, I'd love for you to come, because I'm on the highest level of vortex healing. It's called manifesting intention. And what makes vortex healing so powerful on my highest level is that there is basically very little difference between an in-person or a long-distance healing. Sometimes there is an issue of timing, especially with physical healing, but on this level, long distance or in person, there's very little difference. That's what makes vortex healing very powerful, especially if you're on a high level.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael has something to share. So he's asked me to put this up. Okay. And Michael can maybe do a little intro here.
Yeah, a little while ago, we did a discussion panel on Fire the Grid with some of the people who were involved. The main lady, her name's Samoya, and she had a near-death experience, a very, very dramatic sequence of events that led to her being in communication with beings not of this planet, shall we say, interdimensional, multidimensional, extraterrestrial, and angelic, and all sorts of different things. And she was guided to create this, what is now called Fire the Grid. She was shown the planet as hexagons, and as people submitted or sent out waves of love and energy to the planet, to Gaia, which is also our logo, the grid got lighter and lighter and literally, eventually surrounded the planet. A few years ago, they held, I think, even the first meditation that they put out with not too much notice, maybe a month or so. They called people to do a global meditation. It went all the way around the world, and they had millions of people, and it's phenomenal. And we're just waiting to see when the next one might come. At the moment, there's no specific plans, But I'd love people to tune into what they're on about, because you don't have to join a global meditation. You can do this yourself every day as well. And it not only raises your vibration, but it actually adds to the love energy of the planet. And so I'd really like to encourage people to do that. Yeah.
Would you like me to share that, Michael? The video?
Yeah, play a few minutes. Yeah.
A few minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll put that up. There we are.
That saying, glory in the light of the radiant one, came from Dr. Celestine Starr.
Can't hear it?
Welcome to the second hour of Beyond Christmas 2022. Soon you'll see Samoya in an excerpt from the recently released video series, lovingly produced by Celia Hatch, who will join us soon, along with Anael and also Patricia Sear. On a personal note, I remember first hearing about Fire the Grid a few years ago and seeing Samoya talk about her near-death experience, and was instantly captivated. I'm so glad to feature Fire the Grid today, because it feels extremely important to me that we all take part and raise our vibration and that of our home planet.
We've done 4 evolutions. We've gone from the first field, the third field. We're in the 4th field. We're getting ready to move to the 5th field. And they called it a quantum leap. They talked about a pool of amoeba, and they talked about the critical mass. So the pool of amoeba are all swimming around being amoeba, and they're all like, hey, I'm an amoeba. How are you an amoeba? Yeah, we're all amoeba. This is great. But at some point, all living creatures are imbued with the desire to be more than. Because they're God in form, there's a natural imbued nature that there must be more than this. So you get your little pool of amoeba, and they're all doing amoeba stuff. And finally, there's a critical mass where enough of the amoeba are like, yeah, there must be more than this. Now, does an amoeba have this critical thinking, or is it just a sense of itself? And then, boom, when you reach the critical mass, the amoeba change into the next evolution. It's the piece that evolution is missing, is that when we reach a critical mass where enough of that species goes, yeah, there must be more than this. There's a quantum leap. That species gets a new physiology, a new form, way of being, but the old amoebas are still there, right? It wasn't like every amoeba jumped into the next pool, because not all humans are going to reach that critical mass stage. These people will stay here, and there will be a quantum leap for us. So what the being said was, from Homo erectus to Homo sapien, you're never going to find that missing link, because it was a quantum leap between that to this. So we're about to make another quantum leap. We're moving from Homo sapien to Homo illuminus.
Yeah, I just absolutely, totally love that. Homo luminous, yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have a couple of the, is this the one here, I think, Michael, for the information for Fire the Grid?
Yeah, if you tune into their YouTube channel on youtube.com/@firethegrid, which is one word, lots of videos, and listen to Samoya's long story. It's very involved and very, very amazing. And near-death experiences is something that's becoming very, very popular even. All sorts of groups popping up all around the world. And IANS, the International Association, is doing regular videos and things. And I hope to bring Sean on to do a interview at some point too. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about Beyond Being Human. Just lots of people are gravitating towards it, and we're just creating this networking field where we're all interacting, and it's great. So I do hope you can join us. And what else?
Celia Hatch, is this her link that we have here?
Yeah.
So
Celia was instrumental in helping behind the scenes getting the whole Fire the Grid thing happening as well. Also Anil, Anna L. I should say her name correctly. I'm not sure I've got her page. I don't think I do. I will work on that. But yeah, I mean, if you keep watching that video that we just played and you put the link up to that, yeah, this is an introduction to Fire the Grid, a global meditation. That link there, the YouTube, both of them talk, and lovely people, great message. And I think if more and more of these kinds of things can happen, we can certainly raise the vibration, but we really now are in a critical time of promoting peace. And James Twyman, I just got his email about him going to Israel and holding a global meditation from there, things like that. And, you know, that's very brave, and there's a lot going on. But everywhere around the world, all the natural disasters and the climate change and people being displaced and starving and homeless and all of those kinds of things. I mean, that's just increasing exponentially now. And whether it's climate change or just a natural evolution of what's going on, ultimately, it is about our spiritual growth, because everything really is about our spiritual growth. And maybe you two would like to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, if I may.
Please.
Like I said, vortex healing and the transmissions, especially of awakening, creates very powerful awakening in terms of the evolution of my own consciousness, and the profound and very humbling experience on a personal level, I think definitely reflects a little bit on a global level. These past few years have been so challenging. I have experienced a tremendous amount of loss, a lot of death of a lot of loved ones, not just the pandemic. The pandemic added to that, the loss of a lot of friends. But I also know that the gift, especially during the pandemic, is that the vortex healing transmissions became more online. So I was able to take these classes and awakening transmissions during the pandemic, which was an incredible gift, that this light was growing within me, within this powerful darkness. And what I began to experience is so much darkness and sadness and grief was occurring. It really tested me, really humbled me, it brought me down on my knees to just to humble myself and pray, please make it stop. But eventually, I was able to move through. That to such a profound and humbling foundational place of feeling more embodied in my being. And I think the point that I was trying to make here is, I think what's going on here is darkness is an incredible catalyst. And I want to be very careful and respectful, because I don't want, because a lot of people aren't ready to hear it. But those who are ready to look at the darkness completely with their light to transform it, that is its purpose. And also this the horrible, terrible suffering that we're going through, for those of you who are already in that light, to look at those dark places, those voids, those places of despair, and bring light to that creates, never underestimate that. That's creating a powerful ripple effect throughout all consciousness of humanity. But so much karma has to be confronted first. So much of our dark side has to purge itself, and this is just so overwhelming. The news doesn't show the blessings or the light; it just shows the bad stuff. And that's how the light works. It works in those places where we're not seeing, and light is always going to those places to try and bring light there. And I'm very humbled to be a part of that. So that is how I kind of see it, because I've had to transcend very powerful darkness during this time, and I've learned not to underestimate my own light and how that can create a powerful ripple effect, and not to underestimate the light that's out there contributing to all this darkness that we're seeing right now. And we are out there. We have to have faith in that. All right? We have to go out and find it. The news is not going to show us. We have to really go out and find it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the news is very bent on the darker side and bringing that stuff forward. But we have to remember all of the beautiful stories that happened during the pandemic, of people helping each other, of loving each other, of bringing each other supplies when we needed it, of that every day, being there for each other during the pandemic. All of those healthcare workers showing all the love to those people that needed it when they were ill. Like, there was so much love in the pandemic as well. And I think that if we only listened to the news, we would get lost in that instead of focusing on those everyday light stories. So I think that that's been a big transcendence piece for a lot of people, is more and more people that I talk to are moving away from listening to the news itself, because it creates a downward spiral for everyone, because you get caught in the news story and it lowers your vibration. And really what we want to be doing is raising our vibration to counteract the stuff that's there. So I think that in terms of the global peace movement, I think that that's really what we want to do, is keep showing love on a daily basis, and those little acts of kindness, those little things where we do something kind for each other. We even if it's smile, right? One person smiles at someone else on the street, they go into work, they happen to be a boss, they have a better team day with their team. That team goes out and smiles at their families. It's that butterfly effect that we have, right? And it's a wonderful thing to create that. And it can happen super fast right now because we're in such a manifesting time. So really, it's a beautiful time to be here, despite the denser energies that are happening, because, as you said, Simon, it is a catalyst. You can't clear darkness if it's not being shown the light. So we have to bring it to the surface for it to be shown the light, so that we can release it. And I think that's really what you're seeing on a global scale at the moment. I think that's what's happening. It's bringing it forward so that we can shed light.
And it's incredibly daunting, because what wasn't revealed a couple of years ago is now revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just abide what Gandhi said. There have been tyrants and murderers, but in the end, they always fall.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's the karma. And vortex healers are very good at speeding karma along. And so we will be part of that shift that keeps revealing the light and reveals the darkness and keeps bringing justice. Because justice can be divine.
Well, justice is about learning.
Amen.
Yeah. And Beyond Being Human is all about learning too, or being an education platform, bringing everyone's wisdom to the fore and spreading these conversations, spreading an awareness of all of those particular topics that we're focusing on. Actually, Tanys, if you want to just hop to full screen and go to the Beyond Being Human website, please, a homepage.
Okay, yep.
And just scroll down till you come to that particular image that's got the topics listed on it.
One moment, I just closed it, so one second.
Yeah, the screen there. So, I mean, that is the guidance that I've had in a very, very simple kind of fashion of the purpose, the mission of Beyond Being Human is to raise awareness, simply. Like so many people are living their 3D reality and just so kind of focused on day-to-day living and not really paying any attention to the spiritual reality that's happening alongside all of that. And so we want to kind of inform people, like, yes, everyone's got an angel, everyone's got a soul, whether you believe that or not. Your soul will stick with you no matter what you believe. And no matter where you go, there you are, soul and all. And the whole thing of what we're coming to learn now with disclosure, and there's going to be so much coming out in the coming months and years that people are going to be really, really astounded. And I talk to quite a lot of people, and like they can't even get past the thing of like UFOs aren't real because we don't have amazing photos of them. In actual fact, we do. We've got lots of really incredible photos, but also more importantly, many, probably, I don't know, tens of thousands or more, hundreds of thousands of people having incredible experiences almost on a daily basis. And that's what the Galactic Alliance is all about. And it maybe be a good time for you to have a quick plug for the Galactic Alliance. Come on back on screen.
Sure. So the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact, it's an organization that is pulling people together in order to really make the world a better place. We're going for peace, and we want to bring through support in order to make changes at the UN level, so that when we do have conscious and open discussions with our galactic brothers and sisters, that we are actually able to do that in a peaceful way. And so the other mandate for them is to build an embassy that will be neutral territory for us to have those discussions and to bring that stuff through. So we do have the funds already to build the embassy, and we're in talks with various countries to create a space that is nonpartisan, because it has to be nonpartisan for us to build an embassy. So that is the work that we're doing in order to bring peace and bring out disclosure. So I'll bring the other two back now. And so that's the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to try and share screen and we'll see how we go.
We have a question here, so I'll answer the question. Is where is the embassy going to be? We're not sure yet. We're still working with different countries because we do have to find that land that's nonpartisan. So it's coming though. We're in negotiations.
Right. And so I think I can get that to happen. One sec. Screen 2. Yes, there we go. So this is the page that I'd like people to tune into first, if possible. It's beyondbeinghuman.org/ Patreon, which is spelt Patreon -intro. And maybe we can put that link. I'll send it to you to go on screen. And I'm going to be updating that with all sorts of different things, but we've got a launch coming up, and I can pop back on screen now. The launch event is going to be a Zoom party with, I'm going to invite lots and lots of people, 1 or 2 hours, who knows how long it's going to go. And if you want to email me, beyondbeinghuman@gmail.com, for an invitation to come on to the Zoom, and then I'll respond with the address there. And it will be live, I gather, on YouTube as well. That's the intention. And we're going to go through as many of the presenters that we've got pilots. The pilots do regular shows. The flight crew do all sorts of different things, of conversations, panel discussions, interviews at irregular times. And we've got a big body of work from them already that people can tune into once you become a member of Beyond Being Human, the website. And the Patreon rollout is accelerating all that, as I said before, too. So you can join there at patreon.com/beyondbeinghuman. And yeah, let's wrap up. And
if you'll permit me, I'll just share the screen for the conference that we have coming up for the Alliance. So we have Extraterrestrial Diplomacy and First Contact Conference, and it's a free or by donation event, and it's on November 29th, starting at 4 p.m. Pacific or 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so just, and if you want more information on that, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy, we're always looking for supporters in whatever way that calls to you, so you can let us know if anything comes up for that.
And Simon, do you have a web page for your upcoming healing?
Yes.
I've shared that.
Yes, I shared it.
Good.
Are we
Well,
share some more of my webpage, or is that somewhere else?
That should be in the comments below. So if you check the links below, it should be in the blurb that comes along with it.
yeah. And anybody who's watching this and is able to chat in the restream, I guess people can chat on YouTube, which I haven't been checking. If you are.
Yep. It's all coming down our side panel, so we can see everybody chatting here.
Oh, okay. And that's from different sources.
Yep. It comes in from Facebook, comes in from YouTube. So all of the YouTube channels, all of the Facebook channels that we have loaded in.
Well, just before we go, whoever's still here, hopefully, I'd love to hear where you are all from. Someone said Mexico.
Take the embassy in Mexico.
Yeah, she's actually from Ottawa. That's Betsy. She's from Ottawa. She's from Mexico, but she lives in Ottawa.
Intuitively, I did get a sense of where the embassy could be. Would you like to hear it?
Sure. Yeah.
I got a sense that it would be surrounded by water, so that would make sense. If there were more neutrality for this embassy, that it would be on an island, or maybe on a beach. But I'm thinking an island.
Nice.
That's what I sense.
Ooh, I'm getting chills on that. Cool. I'll pass that on.
We've got a nice island here called Tasmania. And Australia's a big island too.
It's true. That's true.
That's Manhattan. You forget that.
So, yeah, that's an invitation for everyone to write in the chat here where you're from, please.
So Betsy's in Maui.
Maui.
Oh, Betsy, we send you so much love and prayers for what's going on. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bella, I know she's down in the southern states, Texas, I believe.
Well, All right. Well, maybe
We've got someone in Seattle.
Seattle. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We have Stone Hobbit on. Earlier on, she was on. She's, I believe,
She's
in the
in
UK.
No, she's in the land of hobbits, New Zealand.
Oh, in New Zealand. Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got people from all over.
Yeah.
Oh, she's from Arizona. There we go.
Okay.
Bella's from
Yeah.
Arizona.
And Tanya is a really good and powerful healer. Always grateful to her, says Cozumel Liz.
Yeah, Cozumel Liz. She's in Cozumel, Mexico.
Yeah.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for joining us.
Anyway, look, thank you again for helping set all this up, Tanys, and coming along and sharing your gifts, Simon.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. And yeah. Sorry, say that again, so?
I said thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you all for joining us. And thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us, Michael.
Yeah. Okay, let's call it a day, night, whatever.
Sending you all tons of love, guys.
You know the Aliens tagline when the movie came out? In space, no one can hear you scream.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, you didn't? Oh, it's one of, I think it's the first tag on the first movie. Let's change that to in space, everyone, everywhere can feel your love.
I love that. Absolutely. Let's send them all love.
Yeah.
Time and space are an illusion.
Thank you all for joining us.
Okay. Ciao.